Hello there, I'm Begalius. E3, it's done. E3 finished a long time ago. I don't know why you're talking about it. E3 was over a long time ago. We now have Gamescom. That's pretty much the premier event for gaming at the moment. So it's Gamescom 2024, and we look forward to it. And it's where all the reveals happen. You know, oh, it's crazy. This game's actually coming out, and this game is for the surprises or gameplay. You know what Gamescom is. So Gamescom 2024, and I want to talk about it real quick. I want to give my thoughts on 2024 because I sat and I watched it. Admittedly, I did skip through a couple of the bits, like, oh hey, check it out, we're green. Oh, all right, okay, yeah, as if you are, stuff like that. I skipped past a couple of those bits and went straight to the gameplay and trailers and stuff. And I've got to say, it was okay. It was reasonable. It was okay. I mean, I watch most of these events like State of Play and the Xbox reveals and stuff like that. And typically, by the way, as a side note, typically I watch these on on my Xbox on the TV, so I don't get the chat. This was the first time I ever watched it on a laptop with the chat, and oh my god, we are cooked. We are cooked as a what the hell? We are cooked as a humanity. WWL Z L game Z game W game. Oh my god. What the hell, man? This is why I don't watch live streams. I could not imagine sitting there watching that all day. I really could not. Just people just spamming bollocks, utter bollocks in the chat. And that's part of the experience, so I thought I'd bring it up. But in terms of the games, yeah, I mean, like, one of the, I think maybe even the opening game, and by the way, this is ONL, so this is opening night live. But it opened with Goat Simulator Remastered, which is an interesting choice, but I sort of learned that that kind of set the mood a little bit of like this year. There's some stuff to show, but we're just gonna have fun with it, and it might just be a little bit silly. We did also get Black Ops 6 gameplay, which is a little bit more serious. It's a weird phenomenon with Black Ops gameplay events, when they show off gameplay for the first time, campaign gameplay. And that's that. I think we can all agree that Treyarch make the best campaigns in terms of Call of Duty, but their reveal events are always like, I just come away from them just like, I wasn't impressed. I'm like, oh, okay. But I know it's going to be good. But yeah, I mean, like, it was just, from my perspective, it was very slow, very animation heavy. There was barely any gameplay, but that may have just been the choice of the thing. But then again, bad choice, right? But the gunplay looked a bit, I don't know. It looked Call of Duty, but maybe a little bit swimmy, and there's something about it that just didn't hit. But again, I think this is because it was a gameplay reveal, and then it like switched between these VHS transitions, which I would never use on my channel. And I get it, they're trying to set two different tones with this game. They did this with the trailer. This is very heavy on theming already, the run up to this game. And it's trying to say, A, this is a very political game. This is of the politics of the time. And B, this is a game designed in the 90s. This is a 90s game in terms of time zone, and this is a game about politics. So you're immediately running through and getting through like US flags, and I think you're in some sort of like Congress room or something like that, which always makes for the best Call of Duty games, frankly, when they lean into the politics. And so I know it's going to be good, but I wasn't impressed by that. One game that I was impressed with, I think it was called like Prime Animal, and that looks really cool. It's an indie game, and it has some like very cool animations, excellent atmosphere. I mean, it was just a trailer, so we don't know for sure. But as much as I'm not really into indie games, I'm certainly not into side scrollers. Every now and then one does manage to catch my imagination, like the game Inside, which was an incredible game. And this one seems to be doing the same. I think this is going to be a cool experience. I'm quite looking forward to that. But aside from that, I don't think there was anything that like grabbed me and said, oh my god, this is going to be awesome, you need to play this. And typically there is at least one game in the batch that does that. I mean, we didn't get a new Gears of War trailer, we didn't get a new Halo trailer, nothing in the realms of Forza. There wasn't a single, from what I recall, I could be wrong about this, I don't think there was a single PlayStation exclusive reveal at all, or new gameplay for a PlayStation exclusive or anything like that. The only thing we did get was another trailer for Wolong, which had already been out for a couple of days at that point, which seems very bizarre. We've got trailers for just DLC, but just characters. We got a Tomb Raider character for some Battle Royale game. And I will say, very few Battle Royale games like showing, which I think means, I think the bubble's burst. I think it's done. However, hero shooters, there were a few hero shooters here, which is odd. There was one, I think it was called like Predecessor or something like that. That was a hero shooter. That's a game that was available as of the moment of the trailer. I just need to download that and might even give my thoughts on that. There was a mech one, which is I think 4v4, maybe even 6v6, which actually the trailer did look kind of badass, very Armor Core like coded, and I had to kind of tell myself like, no, don't fall for it. It's a cool trailer, but the game, we've seen games like this a lot of times. Actually, mech shooters just like this sort of litter the Xbox store and probably the Steam store as well, and maybe the PlayStation store, all over the place. There's tons of games like this. We also got news on the Marvel Rivals hero shooter, which they announced 2 new characters and a release date for the game. So I guess the game isn't out, but the trailer was focused around 2 new characters. It was Captain America and Bucky. That game actually looks okay, but again, it's another friggin' hero shooter to add to the mix. So there's another one of those. And I really can't think of anything. Well, we got Indiana Jones. We got Indiana Jones footage. You know when you see a gameplay reveal and you're like, oh, that's definitely going to have a score in the 70s, maybe the high 70s. But yeah, I can already see the open score with like maybe 78, 79. Come back to this video and I will be correct. It looks fun, and I am actually looking forward to it. I always look forward to like these, adventure games where it's not overly complicated, or it's not a battle royale or a hero shooter or a sports game or something like that. I always look forward to games like this, so I am looking forward to this one, and I do think it has the potential to be a lot of fun, and graphically it looks pretty cool. The environmental stuff is pretty great. Although I'm slightly worried, I thought they were going to expand on the idea of you having a pistol and a whip, but apparently not. The game seems very focused on the pistol and the whip and a map. Oh yeah, and unfortunately, it looks as though it might be heavy on the puzzles, which I'm not excited about. If it is overly heavy on the puzzles, yeah, I'm not going to be too fussed about this game. I'm so tired of games where like it's graphically great, but ultimately it's just a puzzle game. We've had so many of these now. We had Scorn, we had Plague Tale Requiem, we now have this, and there are loads more, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. But I assure you, there are so many games where it's like, oh, the presentation is fantastic and it looks awesome, but ultimately this is just a puzzle game, and that's how I feel about Indiana Jones. However, we did get a release date. It's December, either the 6th or the 9th. I'm not entirely sure. We also found out that it's coming to PlayStation. So I think the big news from this one and from this year of Xbox is that they are sort of leaving behind the idea of console exclusivity and stuff like that, and they are just becoming a digital platform that you can access from anywhere. And whether you're into that or not, that's going to be happening. I can't say I'm overly into it. So like I said in previous videos, who knows, I may end up making the switch. Aside from that, just a lot of indie stuff. Tons of indie stuff, they even described one of the games as a cozy game genre game, and yeah, a lot of that. I think, it's really cool that we have all of these indie studios making indie games, and that's so great, but I'm just not into them. I'm not into side scrollers or anything like that, and there were a lot of side scrollers here. So either Jeff was trying to, really show off these indie games and give people a voice, which will be awesome, awesome, or there just wasn't much to showcase, to be honest with you. We did get a Warhammer Space Marine teaser, which was nothing. Literally nothing. Reminded me a lot of the old game marketing for Gears of War, very much so actually, which is ironic given that this game is compared a lot to Gears of War. However, I will say that there was some gameplay shown afterwards. There is gameplay for some of these games, and there is extended stuff. I'm just talking about INL. But yeah, there's gameplay for Space Marine that I did catch, and I did have the time to watch, because I'm very much excited for that game, and it looks awesome. It looks just like the first one, but upgraded, which is what I wanted. People have told me that it's a live service game. Typically don't like that, but given that the gameplay looks so great, as long as they don't screw around with like formula and the structure of it like they did with the other Warhammer game, then okay, fine. You know, give me extra missions. I want to do it because the game just looks so damn fun, and it looks as though it might have a Doom-esque finisher sort of system, which is that's just awesome. But yeah, I mean, aside for that, it's a lot of stuff that we already knew was releasing. A lot of everything, by the way, well, not everything, but like a large majority of the things they showed ended with, and this is opening in early access. This will be opening in early access, and it's just a terrible sign of the times, man. I want a complete game, so that was very frustrating. But yeah, overall, I mean, just scroll through IGN, see what they've like put up. I wouldn't say it's worth watching at all. The bits in between were just cringy and awkward. There was some, as there always is, cringy and awkward presenting. This is nothing new. You know, we always get it. It's almost as if they're told to, so that Crow Cat can make the, you know, supercut every year. But yeah, I mean, overall, nothing that I'm like massively excited for, other than Space Marine, but I was already excited for that. No new big reveals and no new like huge amounts of gameplay. So I'm sorry to tell you, but it was okay. There's stuff out there now, which is something. And I'll see you all later.
The PlayStation is only $149, and you can also get leading titles.